G'day ladies and germs, Conor here from C-Dubs Media, back with another video. Today we're doing an unboxing of the Oppo Reno 8 5G, so it's going to be a quick look at it. I'm going to be doing a full review on this. Throughout this video, if you see anything you like, there will be links down below for it. I'll make sure of that. Without further ado, let's get stuck into the video. Let's go. Straight out of the box, we have 8 gigs, 256 gig of RAM. The color is shimmer gold, which is going to be nice. I do like reviewing and looking at products that aren't black. You know what's interesting? There's normally a case in here, and there isn't with this one. Then in here, we have the phone. And just quickly, a bit of branding on the packaging here. Dual Sony flagship sensors. Ultra night video, 80 watt Super VOOC charging, which you know what that is. It means good night Apple, good night Samsung. We've got the fastest charging in the world. And then we have the MediaTek Dimensity 1300. I like that, it looks good. But I'm just going to put it there for now, see what else is in the box. You get a charging cable and a charging brick in the box as well. Happy days. And the thing I like about the charging brick is this is where you get that 80 watt Super VOOC charging. Bringing the phone back over here. So just briefly, we are 160 millimeters tall, we are 73.4 millimeters wide, and we are 7.67 millimeters thick. Out of the box, in the hand, it feels really nice. It feels like a good size. It actually feels nicely balanced in the hand. You can see the camera module there. It's not overly heavy or, top heavy. It feels pretty good. It's a nice feel to it. And it's only 179 grams. It is USB OTG supported, and it comes in at 6.4 inches. Just powering it on. The resolution of the display is 2400 by 1080, so just over 1080p. And we have a 90 Hertz refresh rate, which is really nice as well. Like I said, my daily driver is actually the Pixel 6a, but that only has 60 Hertz. So it's nice to get 90 Hertz, especially at the price points we're getting with the Reno 8 series. I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. Comes in at 16.7 million colors and has 409 pixels per inch. And maximum screen brightness for nits is 800 nits. So it will get pretty bright. And I think like around that 800 to 1000 is where you don't have any problems in sunlight. And it's AMOLED and it's Gorilla Glass 5. Now the one thing I want to touch on quickly is the camera sensors. So this main camera sensor is a 50 megapixel f1.8 Sony IMX766. What does all that mean? It means it's a pretty good sensor for a smartphone. It also has a macro lens and it also has a wide angle camera lens of f2.2, and that comes in at 112 degrees. So pretty good camera setup here. It's got the macro, it's got the wide angle, and then it's got the main camera, which could also be classified as wide angle as well. And that has an 86% field of view. Then on the front facing camera here on the corner, we're coming in at 32 megapixels, and that's f2.4. Same field of view almost as the rear facing camera. Now for video, on the rear facing camera, you actually have 4K 30 frames per second, 1080p 60 frames per second, 720p 60 frames per second. Slow motion comes in at 720p 240 frames per second and 1080p 120 frames per second. And then the default shooting mode is 1080p 60, but you also get 30 frames per second in 720p and 1080p as well. So lots of different shooting modes. Okay, now just in the setup stage of the Oppo Reno 8, I'm going to go fingerprint to start with, but I do find that Oppo is super fast with their face unlock, so we'll probably switch over to that. That display looks really nice. Like I said, 409 ppi, 90 Hertz AMOLED display. It is Gorilla Glass 5. So that's pretty good technology. Now, what do I always like to do a quick test on before I get started on any review, and that's going to be the camera. So let's start off with the 32 megapixel front-facing camera. I'm going to take a selfie. Okay. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to come in nice and close for a portrait photo. Now, I don't know if you could, well, you couldn't see that, but the portrait photo, the shutter was really fast. And there's the photo that's come through. Portrait mode, I think that looks pretty good. You can see it's got most of my hair in there. The moustache is all in place and my ear's not blurry. The corner of my glasses isn't blurry, so nicely done there on the portrait mode. Now let's just go into standard camera, 32 megapixel. I'll come up nice and close for another portrait shot. And it is very bright because of this light here, where I won't be so much in the light. And that's much better. I've removed the harsh video filming light from the situation and a really nice photo. Not to mention the model who's presented in the photo there. So I really like that. That's the front facing camera. Let's try the rear facing camera for a standard photo, and then I'll do a portrait photo as well with the rear facing camera. So let me see if I can put a timer on this. I'm going to go 10-second timer. Oh, I stopped it. Photo, 10-second timer. And a very detailed photo there. You can see all the blemishes on my skin, the colour in my eyes, whether it's red around the eyes or blue inside the eye. Plenty of colour. Not too bad. Now, I'm going to get out of there and I'm going to go portrait mode, rear facing camera. Again, 10-second timer so I can set up my composition as best as I can. There we go. And that is a really nicely done photo. Just looking around the outside, we have USB Type-C, SIM card tray on the bottom, and we also have a little speaker down here. Up the top here, we have a little speaker as well. We have the front-facing camera, volume rockers on the side here, power button here with a little green sort of tinge to it. That looks pretty good as well. I really like it, and I love the back of that. Look at that rainbow colory sort of reflection in it. Then you've got the camera humps, that's that modern look with the big circles there for the lenses. So they're really pushing the camera situation in night mode or dark situation. So I'll be fully testing that in my full review. And they're talking about the rear facing camera having 4 times more dynamic range. And I don't know if it's 4 times more than what, but they're saying 4 times greater dynamic range. So we'll check that out. We'll see what the highlights and the shadows look like. As I mentioned, 90 Hz display for the refresh rate. We also have HD certification for Netflix and Prime Video. And then we also have that SGS eye care display as well. I think it's nice and snappy. Now just let me mention quickly the SuperVOOC charging here. 11 minutes of charging is going to give you 50% battery life. So as you can see here, I'm on maybe 30% battery life. If I charged it for 11 minutes, I would be up to around 80%. So that's pretty amazing. That's the sort of technology we all need in our phones. It does say you get up to 1600 charges. It also has charging protection, so you don't have any of those Samsung problems of phones exploding. Now the MediaTek Dimensity 1300 is a 6nm chip, so that's pretty cool. Looks like they're saying it's got up to 40% CPU performance over the 800 chip, so that's pretty awesome, and 80% at peak performance and 20% more power efficient than the 800. So we're looking at some good stuff there, some really good numbers. You know, I really like how fast that fingerprint scanner is. That's really fast. That's so much faster than my Pixel 6a and my Pixel 6 Pro. Now it does actually have a liquid cooling system. That's pretty amazing to have that in a phone this thin and at this price point. And they are saying in regards to that fingerprint scanner that it will unlock in 0.25 of a second, so a quarter of a second. If your face unlock does it quicker than that, I don't think anyone's really going to notice. Anyway, trying to keep it short for the initial unboxing. We're going to get through the full review. I hope you liked this video. Like I said, if you're not subscribed, make sure you do so you can catch the full review. And please remember, this channel's not sponsored. I don't make millions of dollars out of this. I make nothing out of this, really. So if you can, hit the thank you button down below. Donate 2, 10, 20 or 50 bucks to the channel, whatever you can. It all goes a little ways to helping me grow the channel and, you know, improve my gear and that sort of thing. So if you could do that, much appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.